Did you know that TYT now has a full audio network? On top of our existing lineup, this launch is going to bring you a brand new slate of podcasts, including Mouthy, Messy, Mandatory with Katie Anthony and Ronit Fanglass Plank. Now that's a weekly show that discusses everything from family to really funny and fantastic women. To get more info on the show and the whole TYT audio network, visit tyt.com/audio. So of course, Michael Cohen was Donald Trump's personal lawyer. The government raided his offices, his home, his hotel. They have a ton of his materials, going through about 3.7 million files, I believe. So of course, the big question is, if they have Michael Cohen committing some serious crimes, which is not much of an if, will Michael Cohen flip on Donald Trump? Well, we are beginning to get that answer. This is important. So first of all, just an interesting note today that might give you a small clue. He said Michael Cohen, as this is reported by Ken Meyer at Mediaite and ABC and many others, Michael Cohen has resigned from his position on the Republican National Committee's Finance Committee amid his ongoing legal troubles and investigations into his business affairs. Now that's a small note because nobody's surprised that he's stepping down from that, as he might face massive charges and is a bit distracted. It's actually a little surprising he hadn't already stepped down. But is it a harbinger of things to come? Well, there we go to a CNN report, and the answer seems to be a resounding yes. So CNN reporting, Donald Trump's personal attorney, Michael Cohen, has signaled to friends that he is, quote, willing to give investigators information on the president if that's what they're looking for. I got news for you. That's what they're looking for. Okay, so now, were the friends clear, or was it like, it's a little vague, can't quite tell? Well, let's go to their direct quotes. A friend of Michael Cohen says he feels let down by him, referring to Donald Trump, and isolated by him. Well, that's true. Trump has now jettisoned him, as he does with all former allies, in order to save his own skin. So he says, oh, no, Cohen's not my attorney anymore. And the only thing that he's offered Michael Cohen is implicitly offering pardons by going around and giving pardons to other people who have committed similar crimes to Michael Cohen, or potentially, because Michael Cohen not even charged at this point. If I'm right, he will be charged, and significantly so. And remember, for the federal cases, Trump could pardon Michael Cohen, but he cannot pardon him if they bring state charges. So now, even his friends say, look, if the charges are shao-shao, they're small, well then, he'll be a tough guy and he'll serve whatever term he gets. On the other hand, if they're large, pull the shoe, gone, out of here. Okay, so one of the friends said, quote, anything is possible. When you've got a slimy character like Michael Cohen, who made a living being Donald Trump's fixer. By the way, do any of you guys need a fixer? If you're not going around breaking laws and doing terrible things, you usually don't need a fixer. Fixers come in to fix things that are broken, and Trump has broken a lot of things. So that guy is not, I've said from day one, is not likely to be like, you know what, I have principles. I will go to prison for decades to support the other corrupt guy who left me hang out here to dry, right? Probably not. So now we go to the even more relevant quotes from his friends. They say he knows a lot of things about the president. This is one of Michael Cohen's friends. He knows a lot of things about the president, and he's not averse to talking in the right situation. The right situation being facing a long prison sentence, which again, he hasn't been charged. Maybe they'll go through all of his documents and they'll go, oh my God, the guy's actually totally clean. He was telling the truth the whole time. The taxi cabs things are fine. There's no dealings with the Russians. The payments to the Stormy Daniels and everything else was above board. There was no campaign finance violations. Way to be a great lawyer, Michael Cohen. He's not putting these leaks out in the press because he thinks they don't have the dirt on him. It's not like Michael Cohen's going, look through my papers. Have fun, guys. There's nothing in there. There's nothing to flip on. Instead, Michael Cohen's reaction and what he's telling his friends and telling them to go talk to CNN is, I'm in a panic. Okay, I'll take a deal. Given the right situation, I'll take a deal. I'll take it. Because he knows what he did and he knows what Trump did. One more from his friends. Quote, if they want information on Trump, he's willing to give it. I don't think that lacks clarity. I think it's fairly clear which way he's gonna go. Tick, 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 tick. State charges on Michael Cohen, and God knows what happens next. Because if that leads to Trump, it could also, by the way, lead to Ivanka Trump, which could then get Trump to go, I never wanted to be in office anyway. I'm gonna run some Trump towers all over the world. I didn't want this job anyway. Okay, we'll see, we'll see. I grant you there's some speculation here, but the important information here is it appears that Michael Cohen is definitely willing to flip. And if he does, that could be a treasure chest. And finally, we go to Michael Cohen himself, because in his resignation from the RNC, he put this note that he did not need to put in there to give you a sense of where his mind's at and what he's saying publicly. So he said, as the son of a Polish Holocaust survivor, the images and sounds of this family separation policy is heart-wrenching, obviously referring to the immigration situation now. While I strongly support measures that will secure our porous borders, children should never be used as bargaining chips. It doesn't seem like he's on Trump's side on that one. Tick, 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 tick. That's about as good news as you can get today. Oh, I can't wait for.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got.
Not yet though, not yet. Hold for another day. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.